Hey everyone, in this video we're going to look at some of the progress I made from the last video when I put in some shadows. You'll notice that I also put some kind of different hues on her skin on the skin layer. This is all done on the skin layer. And I've included some yellow just because none of our skin is purely one kind of solid color. So I threw in some just kind of random areas where she might, it's not light, it's just different colored kind of pigment in her skin. I just kind of put it in just to kind of give her different dimensions of her skin. This is the skin shadows that I finished on here. Remember, our light is coming in from the left-hand side and hitting her, so you're getting some more deeper shadows on the right-hand side. You'll see her eyes I'm redoing since I didn't like them, but that's doesn't affect really us here. I've also relabeled my skin shadows from, my skin lighting layer to skin shadows because I wanted to show you the difference between just shadows and just lighting. You don't have to do this. You're welcome to put them on the same layer if you want to. The skin shadows and lighting could be put on the same layer. I separated them just for demo purposes. Her lip shadow I put in as well. Again, it's kind of deeper on the right side because there's not as much light coming from that location. The other thing too is depending on where your light setup is, and I'm kind of looking at my light setup on the kind of upper left-hand corner and kind of shining down. You want to kind of think about what areas are going to hit, what areas are going to be at a right angle, are going to be perpendicular to this light coming down, because that's going to be the highest highlight that's on there. I've also put in some of her hair shadows, so that's the difference between no shadows and shadows. You can see I made it so it's deeper on this side, on the right hand side, just because there is less light here, so I've swept in some of the bigger shadows. I've also kind of put in some shadows that would not be getting any light at all because the hair is kind of concealing it, so and occluding the light from hitting there, also right here and here and here. Again, it does depend. So this hair is going to be light is going to be accessed, or there's going to be light access to here. So what I'm going to do is I've already kind of made a group to show you what it looks like when the light is on. It should look, when you put in the lighting, it should kind of look like the light is like there's a light that you can toggle on and off, and it's illuminating your drawing's face or body or whatnot. So I'm going to turn on this layer and I'm going to just put in some highlights here and show you. I'm going to do it quickly and then I'm going to show you the end result. So I'm going to zoom in a little bit, and I'm going to, the light is only going to be, it's not going to be in the shadowed areas, it's only going to be in the pre-existing lighter areas. So I'm going to use my color picker. I'm holding Alt and I'm going to select the color that is in the lighter zones of her skin. So I'm going to select that, and I'm going to increase my value a little bit. Now I want some brighter areas too, so don't be too high at this point. So I'm increasing the value from my previous color, but I still have room to increase. I'm also going to hue up a little bit too, so it's a little bit kind of has some kind of a different hue change there. So I'm going to go in with my soft brush. I'm going to ensure that I'm on my soft top flow brush. There we go. And I'm going to turn my flow down to about between 70 and 80%. I'm at 75 there. And this is where I want to ensure that I'm using the pixels on her skin. And I'm going to hide them with Control H on a PC. And as I said, it may not work on the Mac. And then I'm just going to brush in, or I'm going to kind of pinpoint where this would be. And again, before I really do anything, I want to do a value check. So does that look different enough? And I think it might. Again, I might bring in some brighter lights shortly. I'm going to put some kind of brighter elements here on her neck too. Definitely her nose is going to, let's zoom in my brush size here. Her nose is going to get kind of a brighter area that's there. And I want areas here. I think also her nose, the actual going up her bridge of her nose is gonna get some more light there, and her forehead is gonna kind of a hotter spot, and that chin as well. Okay, so I'm just gonna go around and see where I want to bring in some light, so maybe on that bit of that nostril there too. Maybe not as bright as that, so it's all about subtlety, and feel free to undo if you do not like something you put in. So I'm going to bring it on maybe a little bit of brightness there, and then bring in, kind of brush in some brightness on her ear. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to increase the brightness again. So I can definitely see it's made a difference. It's not super noticeable. So I'm going to take the color I was working with. I'm going to increase the value again. And I'm going to put in kind of even hotter spots on her here so that it's even more obviously bright. But I'm going to do this kind of less generously each time. So I'm really thinking about where the brightest spots on her are. Maybe a little too bright. I'm going to bring that down because I'm cutting out some of those shadows at the top. I don't want to lose any of my shadows. So be really careful you're not losing any of your form shadows. That may be a little bit too bright there. I'm going to see it in the value checker. So I'm going to turn off that value checker. It's starting to see that illusion of light. I'm also going to bring some into her neck there. So you just want to go through, and you're going to do this. You're going to repeat this with all areas of your drawing. So that's her skin that I've kind of quickly done there. I'll show you kind of my end result. I'm also going to do it on the hair. So where is the light going to hit on the hair the most and the least? That's what you want to think about. I'm going to hide this, and I'm going to turn on my group here. Now, in my group, I've done the lighting on the hair, the lips, and the skin. So I'm going to turn that on and show you what it's like, what it looks like. And I put it into a group just so I can toggle it on and off with one button. So you can kind of see it looks like a light is turning on. And if you have them on separate layers, this is exactly what it should look like with your light. And you can actually see if it doesn't look like a light is turning on and off, you want to redo that. You want to make sure it does in fact look like it is doing that. I'm going to come back here for a second. I'm going to turn the lighting layer back on because I forgot to tell you one thing that's really helps to make your image look more dynamic. The tops of our lids, our eyelids, get quite a lot of light, and it also just helps to, again, we're kind of working between truth, and we're also just kind of working with dynamism. So just making our characters look really interesting. So I'm actually going to delete some of that. Remember, you can always erase as needed. So maybe there's too much light on that eyelid, but it makes a big difference on the eyelids. It really brings brightness to the eyes. And generally, we want people to look at the eyes of our characters. So there we go. I've done the hair and the lips and the skin.